Welcome back to Sports Center here in Glendale. 2-2 final score. USA 2, Mexico 2. With Tom Marshall of ESPN FC, Casey Keller, Alexi Lalasine, Bob Lee. So we heard at the end of the match, Casey, the thoughts that with this team, as you were talking about, the United States getting stretch wide, 4-4-2 continues to be an idea that this team can play with against good teams like Mexico.
Well, the first half it looks really clean because what they were able to do is they were able to keep Mexico in their own half and make it difficult for them to get out of their own bat. You win balls in good positions in midfield, you create goal-scoring chances. In the second half, they kind of dropped off a little bit, let Mexico get into a little bit of a rhythm and start to create things. I think that keeping that tempo up for 90 minutes is going to be so crucial in Brazil because you're not going to be able to get stretched like this in a game.
All right, let's get you through the highlights of an evening where the United States in the first half owned this match. So calm, and of course, calm was not the Mexican state of mind when they took 90 minutes to go 30 miles. They got here late, but in the 15th minute, off the Graham Zusi corner kick, after Miguel Herrera had dealt with all the traffic and the fans had settled down for this, Michael Bradley.
Bread and butter for the U.S. Has been for years. Set pieces. Michael Bradley loses his mark. And that's not an easy ball to hit on that half bounce right there, but he does it. He's happy. He had an incredible first half.
Chris Wondolowski really helped himself tonight.
Well, this is really what Jurgen Klinsmann likes to see. Good 1-2 touch combination, good understanding, good little clipped ball into the box from Tony Beltran. And there's Michael Bradley showing up late with a good flicked header. But where is Chris Wondolowski? He's around the goal looking for anything. His movement is so hard for defenders to follow him around the box. And there's the goal.
Rafa Marquez, Tom, did it again.
How many times have we seen that from Rafa Marquez? A little run inside the box, loses his marker, and, you know, perfect header into the corner. We've seen it time and again.
Age 35, getting it done. And then Alan Pulido, as Nick Raimondo was equal to the task there.
Yeah, I mean, what a start to this guy's career for Mexico. I mean, 23 years old. I think he's got a big future, this kid, Alan Pulido, and I think he's done his chances of going to Brazil a lot of good tonight.
Aguirre with the shot. Right to Pulido, his fourth goal in his third appearance for the Mexican national side. And again, on an evening when people were playing for a spot both ways going to Brazil. Big moment here late. Even is on. Eddie Johnson was onside.
Yeah, he got robbed of a goal here. But considering the way the U.S. played in that second half, yeah, it was a bad call ultimately.
Certainly the man of the match this evening, Michael Bradley for the United States. He's standing by with Jeremy Schaap.
A terrific performance from Michael Bradley. Michael, describe that goal.
No, it was something we had talked about before the game, that on set pieces, you know, at the back post, there was going to be an opportunity for us. And so, good ball came in and was able to get free and put it in.
Second half, what happened to the U.S. defensively?
You know, obviously giving up an early goal doesn't help. You know, we know Mexico, and now when they get a little bit of confidence and then the crowd gets into it, they become a good team. And so I'm certainly not happy with that. You know, all in all, I think it was still a really good night. Great atmosphere, great for the fans, and we'll use it for what it is as we move forward towards the World Cup.
What were you thinking when Eddie Johnson's goal was disallowed?
It looked good to me. You know, obviously some of those go for you, some of them go against you. But you know, like I said, we look at it more from the bigger standpoint that says, you know, it was a good night. You know, still a lot of positives, and now we all start to get really excited for the World Cup.
The 18-year-old makes his debut, Julian Green. What did you think about him?
Oh, I think it's exciting. You know, a young kid like that with so much talent, so much ability. You know, for him, it was just about getting out there for the first time, enjoying himself. You know, almost getting the first one, you know, done with, and now we can really get him going.
10 weeks to go before Ghana. Your assessment of the state of the U.S. team at this point?
Look, I think, like any big tournament, it's going to come down to how fit and how sharp and how mentally ready we are when that first game comes around. And you know, knowing our group, we're going to be ready.
Get your anti-malarial pills, Michael. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
Sounds good.
That's a reference. All right, Jeremy, a reference to, of course, the second match on the U.S. schedule against Portugal to be playing in the city of Manaus out in the Amazon. Michael Bradley, we've been saying it for a while, the indispensable player for the United States. And we talked about this at halftime when Kyle Beckerman is the holding midfielder. He stays home a lot more than Jermaine Jones. Of course, Jones and the European players not here. So Michael with a lot more freedom tonight.
Yeah, we saw him in a different type of role, and that type of freedom enabled him to go forward, to be a little bit more creative, to get into the box up front. But once again, in the context of this summer, playing against the likes of Ghana, Germany, Portugal, can the U.S. afford to have that type of situation? We look at Bradley and what he did tonight. He was all over the place in the first half. We talked about the set-piece goal, getting open, finding a way, and that's a much more difficult shot than it actually looks to finish that off. He's happy, he's getting forward, he's enjoying it, but that relationship with Kyle Beckerman enabled Michael Bradley to have that great first half in the way that he played. I'm just not so sure that that type of play, the way they played, translates into success this summer.
Yeah, I think you can kind of see in the second half when they got stretched a little bit and that space opened up in midfield, Mexico was able to exploit that. And I think that's where you got to be a little bit careful going into this World Cup, is that you need to be as compact. Jurgen was talking at halftime about how compact they were and how that was a positive. They got stretched in the second half, Mexico got back into the match.
And a good result for Mexico.
In the end, yeah, Jekyll and Hyde performance, good first half. Poor first half, yeah. Good second half, but that's where Mexico are at. There are obvious deficiencies. When they get it together, they're a good team. It's as simple as that.
In a word, who helped himself the most for El Tri tonight?
Juan Carlos Medina, at half-time, he came on for Jesus Zavala, and I thought he helped control the midfield for Mexico. And he's someone who's got a lot of trust from Herrera, so I think he's done himself a lot of good.
Tear another page off the calendar. 69 days now as we crawl across midnight towards the World Cup. Boot Room coming along on ESPN3. We'll be talking a lot more. Let's get back to the Sports Center now.